Yo!
Don't give it up, Lupe. Don't give it up, Solo. Don't give it up, Nami. Don't give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up.
His name's Solo, he's just like a samurai and a L-A-D-Y. Nami's not shy. Usopp's doing that marksman thing. Sanji's cooking, Chopper's doctoring.
Hello, this is Warlord 12, and today I need to talk about the problems with anime games, especially when it comes to One Piece video games, right? It's something I really need to talk about because a lot of people have been capping about this stuff, especially what I also need to get into first is what I'm talking about capping. It's just like, if anyone has noticed, PlayStation has been advertising, anime games and even One Piece video games on. They've been advertising One Piece Odyssey basically for like your PlayStation lineup type of stuff, or they're trying to advertise like PS5 games, but the basically the PS5 graphics, things like that, like the 180p stuff and all that. But I need to talk about this because whether PlayStation was just tying, One Piece Odyssey in with just to showcase it, or they're just showcasing it for the graphics, because you can see in their, saying like the way they were advertising, they were talking about graphics, right? So what I need to say is that PlayStation, you're capping, because One Piece Odyssey, the graphics for One Piece Odyssey, they're bad. It's terrible. You know what I'm saying? I will say the animations for like the special moves and stuff when you play the game, right? I would say that those graphics are somewhat okay, but the character models, they look like bad Street Fighter 4 character models. You know what I'm saying? Or like, or like Street Fighter 5. You would think that Street Fighter 4 or Street Fighter 5 would be like good graphics. It was okay with 4, but when Street Fighter tried to do the graphics for like Street Fighter 5 and 6, those are just terrible graphics. That style, and it doesn't even work for when we talk about PS5 graphics or next gen console graphics. You know what I'm saying? If we want to talk about graphics, right? Horizon Forbidden West is a good example of when it comes to good graphics. You know what I'm saying? Like games like that. You know what I'm saying? Like other video games that are advertised when it comes to the PS5, actual PS5 games with real PS5 graphics. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to say is, when you look at anime games like One Piece Odyssey, right? And you see the difference between those graphics, or let's say Naruto Shinobi Striker, those graphics do not work for next gen graphics. They got away with it only because of they combined graphics with manga form, whatever it is. But for a lot of the stuff, you could even tell for yourself that even the manga does a better job when it comes to the animations, animation style, right? That it looks way better. Like the imagery just looks way better than what Shinobi Striker is. You know what I'm saying? And then Shinobi Striker, you have a bunch of different things like clipping going on with the characters' hairstyles and the costumes. It's just like a bunch of stuff that should have been fixed from the beginning, or But if they made a new game like Shinobi Striker 2 or something like that, they can't just fly by with that. But they're gonna have to like have a online Naruto game that has Naruto Storm graphics, or Naruto Storm. Yeah, something that's similar to Naruto Storm graphics or something better. Because now, like when you look at Naruto Storm graphics, and when we talk about anime games and anime in general, for Naruto Storm, right? Those graphics are PS or next gen graphic worthy, right? That actually looks good, but it's not just it's just like these titles that have the PS5 name on it, and you're paying, let's say if in the future we get anime games where you got to pay $80, would that make sense to anybody that you have to pay $80 for a game that looks like a PS3 title or a PS4 title, it really wouldn't when you have like a new Xbox or a new PlayStation. You get what I'm saying, right? It just doesn't make any sense. And anime games have to do better. There's already someone in the one of the gaming companies who's already talking about the problems with anime and gaming, and they're talking about they're tired of seeing how a lot of these anime games that too many people have been trying to copy and paste off of other video games and then just producing those games. It's just like he was talking about in an interview that they're going to start making a difference and change basically when it comes to anime games, giving these games better graphics and things like that, but not other than just graphics, even like the mechanics and things like that. They're basically disappointed with the product of anime games of today. You know what I'm saying? Basically what they're saying is that it's just they haven't really been putting enough effort in these games like they should have. And that's just like when we talk about games like I'm trying to remember the game. It was like like the new Jump Force game or whatever it may be called, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's called Jump Force, the new Jump Force game. Like the graphics were okay for the PS4, right? But obviously there's a lot of stuff that they need to fix, like the character models. And you know what I'm saying? That's what another thing I need to talk about as well is that that's one of the main things that a lot of these anime gaming companies need to fix. That they need to start they need to start doing better, not just with, of course, especially when it comes to graphics, but it's also the gameplay, the mechanics. They need to do better on stuff like that. And it wouldn't hurt if they put English dub. You know what I'm saying? I know some people aren't a big fan of that, but it would actually help, especially when it comes to making more money off of those games. I'm just saying. But other than things like English dub, like I said, the graphics need to be, they need to do better on that. There's one anime game in particular that's doing good when it comes to graphics and even gameplay. I don't remember what the name of this game was, but it's like an anime original style video game. If I find the name, I'll probably put it in like the description and like a comment or something like that. However, other than that, I really need to talk about this, especially when it comes to Onepeiece Odyssey, because I talked to another YouTuber, and even they were saying that they weren't going to buy a Onepeiece Odyssey because the graphics were just terrible. This is something that it truly does need to be fixed when it comes to, gaming in general. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, you mean to tell me your graphics for anime look so amazing and smooth and fleshed out, but you give us these garbage graphics for video games for the PS5 or new Xbox? So, like I said before, especially when it comes to next-gen graphics, when it comes to the new Xbox as well. So, when it comes, like, what I was already talking about for all this stuff is that there are people that, like, I need to say this, is that the reason why you don't really see me playing Onepeiece Odyssey in the background while I'm, talking and talking about the review for, Onepeiece Odyssey, right? Or even playing One Piece Pirate Warriors, because that's just in case. Because for those of you who don't know, the main reason when it comes to why people like me don't try to play certain video games or review certain video games while having that specific video game in the background, like for instance, Onepeiece Odyssey, if it's a game that comes from Bandai, right, that's fairly new or fairly brand new, like or at least a year or a year and a half, like games like Onepeiece Odyssey, right, what Bandai will do is they'll give you a copyright when you try to review those games. I believe the reason why Bandai does this is because they want to make sure that people can't, they probably don't want people to review their game, especially if their video game is bad. They probably don't want people talking about the problems and the bugs and things like that. Well, that's one of the top main reasons why you don't see me playing One Piece Odyssey in the background. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm being careful with that stuff. And it really is a shame that I have to be so worried about copyright that I can't even play that game in the background, right? Now I don't have One Piece Odyssey. I'll talk more about that, soon. But for the most part, other than that, there has been already someone when it comes to the gaming industry who's Japanese, who was talking about how basically that anime games truly do need to do better because there's too many games that are copy and pasting anime games that are copy and pasting off of other video games mechanics and things like that, and it's basically just making anime games stale and just bland. What I'm saying? It's just not making people want to buy those anime games because it's just like there's no passion put into it, no real effort put into those games. And then one of the top main things is just like anime games could do better. They have been able to do better for a long time now, but a lot of these gaming companies, they don't want to put in the hard work and effort to make these anime video games amazing. They wonder why people don't buy their games, and it's because they don't want to put the effort into it. So any of you who are listening who are part of gaming companies when it comes to anime games, what I'm saying, this is one of the top main reasons why your games don't do well. Part of the reason is because you don't have English dub. Other than English dub, though, what I'm saying, other than trying to just blame that, overall, for all the things I talked about, is why certain anime games don't get popular. You know what I'm saying? So I just thought that this is definitely one of the things that I would point out about anime games in general. And by the way, if you wanted to know the game that I have in the background that I'm playing, the two games I'm playing, one of them is Rogue Galaxy. It's a video game where you basically play as a pirate among other pirates in the game, where I just thought that would add like a nice little reference touch to One Piece while I'm talking, right, and doing this review. And then the other game is, it's Final Fantasy X. Thought it would also add a nice touch when it comes to, like, this game is centered around water a lot, I'm saying, to the ocean, things like that. So I just thought that would work pretty well when it comes to referencing, One Piece when it comes to making a review video, right? But if that's one of the that's one of like some of the main reasons why I chose these two video games in particular to, while I talk over the problems with One Piece Odyssey and anime video games in general. And it's just, but like I said, it's just a shame that anime video games have gotten like this for a long time now. And I definitely need to say something about this because there's way too many people who are capping on this stuff. Too many people, like, there are YouTubers who will try to defend games like One Piece Odyssey and other bad anime video games. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, why can't, like, there are people that want better from anime games. It's just like, why can't you make better? And it's just, what I'm saying? People saying that it's okay or whatever it is, and like, it really is not okay. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to next gen titles, and then you're gonna pay $80 in the future for some of these anime games that are, PS5, or they're actually PS4 games, but they slap on the name PS5, and those particular anime games don't even have the graphics of, next gen graphics. You get what I'm saying? Okay. So with my review and what kind of score I would give One Piece Odyssey, I'd give it a solid 6 out of 10. As far as all the other effort that was put into the game, like I said, I'll give them that when it comes to the art direction and things like that, and how unique the monsters were. Even the music, especially the music, was pretty well. I'm saying, I listened to a few tracks, so it's pretty good. And like I said, the art design when it comes to like the landscapes and things like that, right? I'll give them credit for like all the creativity, but the graphics, you anime companies and anime video game companies and gaming companies in general, you really need to get on the ball when it comes to the graphics. Like there are people already in the gaming um, who are already directing video games, and there are people that like them that are already saying that they can do better. Basically, that they can do better when it comes to anime games. And I really hope that this is the step forward when it comes to that. This is Warlord 12, and I'm out.
The treasure that would make their dreams come true.
Yo!
Dreaming. Don't give it up, Lupe. Don't give it up, Solo. Don't give it up now, man. Don't give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up.
Here's how the story goes. We find out about a treasure in the Grand Line. There's no doubt. The pirate whose eye is on it, he'll sing. I'll be king of the pirates. I'm gonna be king.
His name is Luffy.
That's Monkey D. Luffy.
King of the pirates. He's made of rubber.
How did that happen?
Yo ho ho, he took a bite of gum gum. His name's Zolo, he's just like a samurai and a Lady. Nami's not shy. Usopp's doing that marksman thing. Sanji's cooking, Chopper's doctoring.
Set sail for One Piece. It's the name of the treasure in the Grand Line.